The haze of addiction is hard to see through. It clouds your judgment. It whispers lies. It makes you believe that everything is under control, that you can stop whenever you want. But deep down, you know that's not true. The grip of addiction is tight, and it doesn't let go easily. It tells you that you're in control. It convinces you that you can handle it, that you don't need help. But the reality is far from it. The substances take over your life, your thoughts, your actions. They become the center of your existence. But one day, the fog starts to lift. You see the truth. You realize that the control you thought you had was just an illusion. The substances were controlling you all along. This moment of clarity is both terrifying and liberating. That's what happened to our friend. We'll call him Alex. Alex had been living in the haze of addiction for years. He thought he was managing it, but in reality, it was managing him. The substances dictated his every move, his every decision. Alex realized he had a problem. It wasn't an easy realization. It came after many sleepless nights, countless arguments with loved ones, and a growing sense of despair. He could no longer ignore the signs. Tobacco, bhang, alcohol. They had a grip on him. They were his constant companions, always there to offer a false sense of comfort. But that comfort came at a high price. His health was deteriorating, his relationships were crumbling, and his sense of self was eroding. He knew he needed to break free. The realization was the first step, but it was a crucial one. It marked the beginning of his journey towards recovery. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to reclaim his life. Denial is a powerful force. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of self-destruction. It makes you believe that everything is fine, even when it's not. Alex had been in denial for a long time. He had convinced himself that he didn't have a problem, that he could quit anytime he wanted. It's easier to pretend everything is okay. Alex knew this. He had been pretending for years, putting on a brave face while his life was falling apart. But the facade was starting to crack. The truth was becoming harder to ignore. He had been in denial for a long time, but the consequences were piling up. His health was suffering. His relationships were strained. He was losing himself to the addiction. The weight of it all was becoming unbearable. But the consequences were piling up. His health was suffering. His relationships were strained. He was losing himself to the addiction. The weight of it all was becoming unbearable. He couldn't keep living like this. He was tired of being controlled by his addictions. He was tired of the constant battle, the never-ending cycle of highs and lows. He wanted out. He wanted to be free. He wanted to live a life that wasn't dictated by substances. He wanted his life back. He wanted to be the person he used to be, the person he knew he could be. He wanted to rebuild his relationships, to restore his health, to find happiness again. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to fight for it. Alex looked in the mirror. He barely recognized himself. His eyes were bloodshot. His skin was sallow. He looked older than his years. The toll of addiction was written all over his face, but he also saw something else in the mirror, a spark of determination. He looked older than his years. The toll of addiction was written all over his face, but he also saw something else in the mirror, a spark of determination. He knew that he had the strength to overcome this, that he could reclaim his life. A wave of sadness washed over him. He had let himself go. He had let his addictions win, but something had changed. He was no longer willing to be a victim. He was ready to take control of his life. He had let himself go. He had let his addictions win, but something had changed. He was no longer willing to be a victim. He was ready to take control of his life. He was ready to fight back. He had let his addictions win, but something had changed. Today, he saw a glimmer of hope. He saw a future where he was free from the grip of addiction. He saw a future where he was happy, healthy, and whole. Today, he saw a glimmer of hope. He saw a future where he was free from the grip of addiction. He saw a future where he was happy, healthy, and whole. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to fight for it. Today, he decided to fight back. He decided to take the first step towards recovery. He decided to reclaim his life. It was a long road ahead, but he was ready. He was ready to face the challenges, to overcome the obstacles, to become the person he knew he could be. Rehab is a big decision. It takes courage, it takes strength. It's a path that many find daunting, but it's also a path to a new beginning. Alex knew he couldn't do it alone. He needed help. He had tried to quit on his own before, but the pull of addiction was too strong. But he wasn't ready for a traditional rehab facility. The idea of being away from home, in an unfamiliar environment, was overwhelming. He needed a different approach. He chose self-rehabilitation. Self-rehabilitation isn't easy. It takes discipline. It takes commitment. It requires a person to be their own motivator, their own guide. Alex knew it would be hard, but he was determined. He started by setting small, achievable goals. Each day was a step forward. He was done with addiction. He made a symbolic gesture by getting rid of all the things that reminded him of his past struggles. He was ready to take back his life. The mornings became a symbol of new beginnings for him. He started by researching online. He read books. He absorbed as much information as he could about addiction and recovery. He talked to people who had been through it. Their stories gave him hope and practical advice. He wanted to be prepared. He created a detailed plan, outlining his goals and the steps he needed to take to achieve them.
Support is crucial, even in self-rehabilitation. Alex knew he couldn't do it entirely alone.
Alex reached out to friends and family. He knew that having a support system was essential for his success. He told them about his decision. He explained why he chose self-rehabilitation and what he hoped to achieve. He asked for their support. Some people understood, others judged, but he was prepared for that. But Alex didn't let that deter him. He knew that not everyone would understand his journey. He knew he needed to focus on himself. Self-reflection became a daily practice. He needed to stay strong. Physical exercise became a crucial part of his routine, helping him to build both physical and mental strength. Alex also started journaling his thoughts and progress. He created a vision board to keep his goals in sight. He joined online support groups, finding a community of people who understood his struggles and triumphs. Every small victory was celebrated. Each milestone was a testament to his hard work and determination. Alex marked his progress on a calendar, each day a reminder of how far he had come. He knew the road ahead was long, but he was ready. He was taking control of his life, one step at a time. The first few days were the hardest. Withdrawal symptoms hit hard. Cravings were intense. Alex felt physically and emotionally drained. He had headaches. He felt nauseous. He couldn't sleep. He was irritable and anxious. He just wanted to give in. But Alex pushed through the pain. He knew it would be worth it. He found ways to cope. He drank lots of water. He exercised regularly. He practiced mindfulness and meditation. He connected with his support system. He reminded himself why he was doing this. He wanted to be healthy. He wanted to be free. Every day was a battle. But Alex fought back. He refused to let addiction win.
He learned to identify his triggers. He developed coping mechanisms.
He replaced old habits with new ones. He found joy in simple things. He started to feel like himself again. Staying the course, consistency over complacency. Recovery is a journey, not a destination. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Each step forward is a testament to resilience and determination. The path may be long and winding, but every stride brings you closer to a better version of yourself. Alex knew this. He knew he couldn't let his guard down. He had to stay vigilant. He had to stay consistent. He had to stay committed to his recovery. Complacency is dangerous. It's easy to get comfortable. It's easy to think you've got it beat. But addiction is cunning. It's always lurking, waiting for an opportunity to resurface. Alex often reflected on his journey, understanding that each day required a renewed commitment. He journaled his thoughts, his fears, and his triumphs, knowing that self-awareness was a powerful tool in his arsenal. Alex knew he couldn't let his guard down. He had to be prepared for triggers. He had to have a plan. Routine was key. He meticulously planned his days, ensuring that every hour had a purpose. This structure provided him with a sense of control and predictability, which was crucial in his fight against complacency. Alex created a daily schedule. He woke up early. He exercised. He ate healthy meals. He spent time in nature. He connected with loved ones. He practiced gratitude. He made time for self-care. Each of these activities was a deliberate choice, a step towards maintaining his well-being. The early morning symbolized a fresh start, a new opportunity to stay on track. Exercise not only kept his body fit, but also cleared his mind. Healthy meals nourished him, providing the energy needed to face the day. Nature walks offered tranquility and a reminder of the beauty in the world. Connecting with loved ones reinforced his support system, while gratitude journaling kept him grounded. Meditation allowed him to center himself, finding peace amidst the chaos. He treated his recovery like a full-time job. Every task, every routine, every moment of mindfulness was an investment in his future. Alex understood that recovery wasn't just about abstaining from harmful behaviors. It was about building a life filled with positive habits and meaningful connections. He approached each day with the seriousness and dedication of someone who knew that his well-being depended on it. This unwavering commitment was his shield against complacency, his strategy for long-term success. One day at a time. Triumphs and tribulations of August. August was a roller coaster. There were highs and lows. There were days when Alex felt strong and confident. There were days when he felt weak and tempted. But he never gave up. He took it one day at a time.
There were victories to celebrate. Alex went a whole week without a cigarette. He turned down alcohol at a social gathering. He resisted the urge to use bhang when he was feeling stressed. These were all huge accomplishments. They showed how far he had come.
There were also setbacks. Alex had a particularly difficult day and gave in to a craving. He felt guilty and ashamed, but he didn't let it derail his progress. He learned from his mistake. He picked himself up and kept going.